My name is Burns. Welcome to the 24 series. Right now we are in our camera roll under Photoshop, and this image was shot using a Canon EOS 5D Mark III. We're having different adjustment profiles, vivid, landscape, and whatever. And we have the white balance. So basically, this image was already done some adjustments in Capture One, so we don't have much of what to adjust in Photoshop. Actually, when you try to bring down the temperature to around 5,500 Kelvin, you see we're going to be experiencing lots of yellows in the image. So what I would definitely just do is bring in some clarity, and I changed my profile to vivid, Adobe Vivid, and then bring in some sharpness in my details. And then the next thing will be to open my image in Photoshop. So as you can see, this is the before and the after. Right now we are in Photoshop. So the first thing is going to be cleaning out the skin, removing these airs. So right now I'm using what we call the patch tool. So as you can see, the image is extremely sharp. Yeah, the image is extremely sharp. So we're going to be working on this image, and in a less of a small time compared to what it would take to somebody out there. So our main focus in this tutorial is to help you get the best out of your images by generating what you would take time for you to achieve in such a very small time. So definitely what I'm doing right now is trying to select out the blemishes using the patch tool. This is the patch tool that's G on your keyboard. That's where it is located. You just go with a shortcut of J. So I'll be doing this, and I'm going to fast forward this to save some time. Layers that are in the skin that you want to take out on a safer side than using than using the healing brush. So definitely you should go for the spot healing brush or the chrome stamp if you're good at any of those two other than the healing brush. So when I'm done with the cleaning of the skin, my next thing will be playing my Gaussian blur, and I'm gonna put my radius to 6. So as you can see, it's loading, and I'm going to open it, go to my lower frequency separation layer. I'm going to be working on that. So I'm using my mixer brush at a wetness of 2, load of 75, mix of 90, and a flow of 100. We're having 4 layers here, so definitely you can see I'm having a copy of each layer. The high frequency separation layer has a copy clipped on the high FS layer that's below it, and the layer I'm working on, which is the low frequency separation layer, has a clipped mask on the low frequency separation layer too. So this helps me in a way that if I delete one layer, basically I maintain the original copy without deleting my entire work. So I just drag down to the bin that layer that I have just messed up with and maintain with the layer to continue with my work. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm trying to blush. The blushing act is to flatten the image. Some people use what I could define as the micro, dodge, and burn. Of course, we will be seeing that in the next video to come anytime too. Just subscribe that button. Just subscribe to this channel, and then wait for more info to come to your way. So definitely, as you can see, I'm trying to emphasize on keeping the skin textures. And other people use what we call the litho tool. It's called a litho tool. Yeah, litho tool. And then they just select out the texture where they want to mix with the blur without using the mixer brush. Actually, some people even comment that the mixer brush is kind of tricky to use, but you just need to give it time and then get the best out of it. So definitely, as you can see, we're still doing here what we call the mixing of the image, and we are definitely getting a skin which is looking pretty. So before and the after, as you can see, before and the after. So I'm going to mix these two. I'm going to forward this to save some time for my beautiful viewers. Done with playing my frequency separation. My next thing is going to be cleaning my eyes, and I'm going to use my eyes and teeth action. So basically, I'm going to just clean the eyes by painting the white color, which is the inverse. And remember, the inverse is the opposite of that particular color. For example, the inverse of white is black, as well as the inverse of black is white. So I'm going to add on something which I call a Pro Retouch panel, and this is going to just help me adjust my eyes in particular. If you need it, I'll put a link in the description, or I'll give it for free at a given time. I'll just drop it for somebody out there to have. I'm going to bring down my opacity. So this is what the Pro Retouch panel looks like, and I'm going to select my eyes and the iris. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust, enhance the iris, sorry, the eyelids, which is the particular word, iris, eyelids, whatever. So I'm going to paint that out by enhancing more of its details to make it look more of something which is out of a soft focus. So as you can see, I'm painting it out. That's what we're having. And then I'm going to paint this side too. So before and the after. Very good. And then I'm going to move back and then do the final touch. So what the final touch does is a combination of the whiten, the iris, the color. That's what basically the final retouch do. So I'm going to just paint the eyes, and then you're going to see that it enhances more of the details at a particular time than it would take for somebody who uses simply actions or layers. So this is just a panel, and these on my right are the panel, and on my left is the actions. So I'm using a combination of both of them just to get something good out of this image. So before and after, and I'm going to bring down my opacity to around 61. Yeah, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring down the group. So before, after, and then my next thing is going to be doing the dodge and the burn from my action side. So I'm going to name them. The multiplier is going to be the burn, of course, and then the screen is going to be named dodge. This is going to be named the dodge, and actually you can make this for yourself too by bringing down your curves. You're creating the burn, and then bringing up your curves, you're creating the dodge. Simply the dodge is to highlight the skin or to bring in more of that light, and then the burn is to emphasize more of the shadows and the midtones too. However, you can still burn and dodge the midtones, but you can't burn the highlights, okay? So with my flow of 2% and opacity of 100%, I'm going to begin by by dodging my midtones plus highlights. Keep in mind that some people use a black and white mask. What definitely helps them is to focus more on identifying where the light hits the face, if you're talking about the beauty shots, and more is it helps a person to be aware of where the shadows start from and where they end from. Remember, the skin is divided into 3 segments, which is the mid-tone, highlights, and shadows too. So when you're doing the dodge and burn, you definitely have to put all this in mind, that we're having the mid-tones, the highlights and the shadows. Okay, so right now what I'm trying to do is to burn the shadows and the midtones, or with the blush flow over 1%, not 100%. So if I were to use 100%, I'll definitely get an extremely dark, because burn is to invert and multiply in the curve. So I'll get an extremely dark image. So that's what I'll be having, as you can see. So right now I'm trying to burn the midtones too, and then keeping the highlights not intact with the burn adjustment layer. Okay, this is the before and after, as you can see. So this is where we are right now, and I'm gonna be putting a new video on how I did the color grading of this image. Right now we are simply emphasizing on how you can adjust your skin, but as you can see, the colors are really looking beautiful before I even did the final adjustment when it comes to colors. And yeah, I believe we're getting somewhere. We're doing something good. So I've grouped this. That's Ctrl G on your keyboard, before and after. And then my other thing is going to be bring in my selective color and then select my whites. So basically what the whites do is they help me, sorry, not the yellows, it's the whites. What basically the whites help me is they bring in more of that shine, the shine in the face. You can see that's what I'm talking about. So you can see that the before and after. So and then I'm going to try to bring in my blacks. Blacks, of course, this is extremely too much contrast. I'm going to lower that down to around 3. I think one is enough for me. And then before and after. Okay, before and after. So I'm going to bring down the opacity, that's around 53, and then I'm going to group it. Ctrl G on your keyboard. So that's where we are.